Hi guys, Eric Claggett with Primal Tennis. The tennis world just got some devastating news, and that is that Rafael Nadal needs hip surgery and is going to be out for the next 5 months minimum, which puts him out of the 2023 US Open, one in which I was hopeful he would be ready for. But since this announcement comes at the beginning of June, let's do some math here. So that's June, July, August, September, and October. And that's hopefully because this is probably his worst injury yet and will be his longest hiatus away from the game so far. And I anticipate during the course of that rehab, he's not going to be able to do much running or conditioning or agility. And just slowly over time, he's going to ramp that up over the course of the 5 months. And I really credit Rafa here for being willing to go through this again. He's been through the rehab process so many times, and nobody would fault him if he decided to retire right now. But the warrior spirit in him is going to give it another go for the fans. Plus, there's a lot of money involved, don't forget that, in the form of his sponsorships, his foundation, and his academy. But he's going to try to do right by the fans and give it another go in 2024. By the way, happy birthday to Rafael Nadal, who just turned 37 on June 3rd. If you would have asked me 10 years ago, would I still think that Rafael Nadal would still be playing at age 37 or 38, I would have told you that you were crazy. So looking at this, the first question is, will he be ready for the Australian Open in 2024? Now, based off the timeline of 5 months of rehab, that gives him November and December and half of January, about 75 days to get ready for the Australian Open, which starts on January 15th in 2024. Now, I think that is enough time for Rafa to be ready and full go if he doesn't have any setbacks. Or does he just decide to skip the Australian Open altogether and just focus on clay and try to make a run at that 2024 French Open? But I think he's going to try to play the Australian Open because he's going to need those points heading into the clay court season, which brings me to my next point. By the way, if you're liking this video so far, please push that like button and leave a comment in the comments section. I want to know your opinion on what you think Rafa can and will do in 2024. And my next point, will Rafa be unseeded next year? Now this is going to be a big problem for him unless he gets one of those ATP protected rankings. He's not going to have any ATP points. But the good news is I looked it up and it does appear that he will qualify and be eligible for one of those ATP protected rankings when he returns to competition. And it will stay there for his first 9 or 12 tournaments. And there's some fine print there, so I can't guarantee that, but it will depend on when he makes the appeal and how much time he's actually out for. By the way, so Rafa is currently ranked 15th. And for example, in this year's French Open, the number 15 seed, Borna Coric, was theoretically scheduled to play the number 2 seed Medvedev in just the 4th round. So looking ahead to next year, the number 2 seed could easily be an Alcaraz or a Djokovic. So it's going to be really important that he gets some of those ATP points early on in the year to boost that ranking so he doesn't have to battle through a tough draw. And the next question is, can Rafa win another major? Well, let me tell you something. Anytime Rafael Nadal shows up to a major and he's healthy and can stay healthy, he's always a big threat. And I think he's going to make a big push for the 2024 French Open. He's already won it 14 times. I think that he can do it one more time if he can stay healthy. And my last point, and I don't know if you guys caught this or not, but he said that 2024 will probably be his last year. And there's a lot of wiggle room in that word probably, which can mean only 3 different things. And number 1, his rehab does not go well. He gets injured again and decides to just hang it up and retire. Or he gathers enough steam to make it to the 2024 French Open and then retires after that tournament. But I do think that if he has any more significant injuries, he's done. He's just going to retire. And number 2, next year really is his last year. He makes it through all 4 majors, maybe has a few minor injuries, nothing major, but he does his farewell tour and then retires. I think that this is probably the most likely option. And number 3, he plays next year, but he stays healthy and he plays great. And he places extreme focus on his pliability, elasticity, and flexibility, injury prevention type techniques, the same way Federer did in his late 30s, the same way Tom Brady was able to stay healthy into his mid-40s. And then he decides to come back again in 2025. I think it could happen. Well guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and check out some of my other videos talking about professional tennis. And I hope to see you out on the court soon. Ciao.